Freedom fighters, I'm back with another one. Today's topic, it's a big one. We have to discuss this in our community. Can we ever criticize Trump at all? I was responding to a comment on one of his videos recently about Title 42, and it was on his YouTube page. And I got, blasted by all these Trump supporters who didn't check out my page, who don't know anything about me, just automatically assuming I'm some leftist troll. Well, let's take a look at it and discuss it. So here we are on Donald J. Trump's YouTube page, and this is the video. President Trump slams Biden for getting rid of Title 42. Somewhere down here in the comments. There it is. From Fast Turtle. He said, hate him or love him, Trump will get the job done. You could tell he really cares about the United States and its people. Well, I said he didn't get the job done in the first 4 years. So I got hella ratioed here. Mustang 760 said, were you sleeping? The guy says you, wake up, buddy. Bro, when Trump was in office, America was worth my life. Not too sure what that means. Should still be worth your life, though, if you're willing to fight to get it back. Stobe said, you're just as tired as Sleepy Joe. Rebecca Lavoie, you have to be a troll. And I said, no, I'm not trolling. Would you care to explain? I was waiting for the revolution in 2016 when Trump won. I thought we took America back peacefully. Thought we voted in a George Washington, a Thomas Jefferson. I don't think Trump knew how bad it was. Even he said that himself. To Mustang, I said, explain to me how he got the job done. We wouldn't be in this situation if he did. Shannon said, I'm a free fool. Infinity said a better border, better economy, less inflation, cheaper gas, energy independence, no new wars, 4 major peace deals. The only president to set foot in North Korea, 3 SCOTUS picks. What's your complaint? Well, I said back to him, Antifa and BLM still exist. The left is still taking our Second Amendment. I mean, basically every other day, every week, there's a new bill being passed or another, attack on our rights. They just arrested a patriot in Texas for shooting an Antifa rioter. He didn't demolish the deep state and allowed the military coup to happen and allowed them to install puppet Biden. So again, if he got the job done, we wouldn't even be in that situation. But no, RG says, time to wake up from your left-wing propagandized delusion. Yeah, and I stopped responding to all this stuff, and then he said, why aren't you responding anymore? I said, what's left to respond to? It's crazy, man. People just, it's really just getting cultish here if you have any criticisms at all. It's not even like I went hard. I just said he didn't get the job done. Yeah, this guy said, get what done? Where's the wall at? Yeah, so that's the problem that I've faced in this community for a while. That if you have any criticisms of Trump whatsoever, you automatically get hopped on and they assume you're some pink-haired feminist social justice warrior troll. They didn't check out my page. They haven't followed anything I've done to know it's quite the contrary. But that's today's thought exercise. I want you guys to each write at least one comment of something that you wish Trump did or you think Trump did wrong. It's almost becoming cultish where people are just like, he's the second coming of Jesus and he can do no wrong. So I guess, I got a few points that were big for me, but, in that last CNN town hall, that kid stood up and said, you said you were going to leave the Second Amendment alone, you were going to not touch it, and then you ordered the DOJ to ban bump stocks. And he said, oh yeah, I went with the NRA with that one because they said that was okay, and it makes you shoot inaccurate anyway. Well, that's not the point. The point is shall not be infringed, and you said you weren't gonna touch the Second Amendment. And you should have known that the NRA is a clown organization anyway, and they're not even for our rights. And I think this was one of the main problems with Trump as well, is that I think he totally got sideswiped. And he said it himself. He didn't know how deep the swamp went. He didn't know how dirty it got. So I think he had a lot of people in his ears and he was listening to things he shouldn't have. But then he was also in there, you remember that meeting he had with like Pelosi and all these Democrats, and Pence was there and Feinstein was right next to him, and he said to take the guns first without due process in the court of law. And he's basically the starter of the red flag laws. And Feinstein was over there wetting her panties and rubbing her hands, and her wet dream, her whole life to disarm Americans, is finally coming true. That was a big one. And again, probably some swamp rats got into his ear and, told him, oh, common sense gun control, and he just went with it. Another big one was, now that we're coming up on this debt ceiling issue, he had this himself. And do you remember the omnibus bill? They had to wheel this thing out on a cart. It looked like, 10 dictionaries. This thing was huge. And he said himself, nobody read this. Nobody can read what's in this bill. It's too much, but I have to sign it. And I was like, no, you don't. If you don't know what's in it, don't sign it. But supposedly there was some kind of like military budgeting in there. And again, the deep state probably got into his ear and told him, oh, our military needs this and that, and you just have to sign it. So he went and did it. Again, the same military that would have dragged him out of office on January 6th if he would have stayed in. The same military that would have been used against us. And I'm going to do another video on that. That's upcoming, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, the woke military, that's who you had to sign the bill for, to fund them. It's a joke. And then the debt ceiling issue, I think government closed down for a couple weeks there during his presidency. And again, the rhinos got into his ear. People caved. The spineless GOP. And they, signed away our rights. And I can't remember everything that was in there. But they caved to open back up government. I'm like, man, let it shut down if it has to. Why do we always rush to, let's keep it going? And that goes back, I guess, to my main comment in there, where I said in 2016, I voted for George Washington. I voted for Thomas Jefferson, and maybe I was delusional. Yeah, I probably was a little delusional, but I really was hoping for the peaceful revolution. And that's what I thought we got. And that didn't turn out, and that's what that comment was all about. He said Trump will get the job done. I'm like, well, he was in there. We didn't get the job done. And do you remember that atmosphere in that 2015, 2016 era when he was running? Like, whenever you went to the gun shows or the range or wherever, and you talk to people, everybody was getting ready. People were like, man, if Hillary gets in there, the war's kicking off, the country's done. And people were ready to go. And as soon as Trump won, all the patriots went to sleep. It was amazing to me how everyone just said, okay, that's it. We won. And they just walked away. And here we are today with record high immigration. The wall isn't done. BLM and Antifa are still running around. Your military's still woke. The deep state's still in power. They can do whatever they want. There's no limits to what they can do. So that's pretty much, that's what it is, man. That's what we're facing. And you know how I always say it, we are on our own out here. No one's coming to save us. So get right with God, because only He can save you. Freedom Fighters out.